Hey, you still doing that little rap shit y'all was doing before?
Yo, welcome to another episode of Your Little Rap Show. I am your host, Av Campbell.
Yo, it's your boy Buck the World.
All right, we got another good question from another good fan out there.
Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. This week's question is, has the music industry become more about pushing out content as opposed to new music? And have artists of today become more of content creators rather than actual musicians? How do you feel about that?
One, that's a really good question. And for me, I would say the answer is yes. Unfortunately, we all got to be content creators now. The shit is ass. I don't. The shit is ass because like you want to do music, you want to focus on your artistry, but there's people who do it, but in terms of being seen, it's like your people are flooded with so much information and content. You have to produce mass amounts of content trying to break through. You got to keep up with certain online trends. Like, you got rappers out here doing TikTok dances, and it's like I get it. Like you know, you having fun with like, I feel like if you're a rapper, and you're doing TikTok dances because you like
to dance.
That, or you know, like if you're like an MC Hammer kind of rapper, where it's like, oh, all right, cool, or like you doing some shit with your kids, but I don't want to see a rapper just getting up and having to dance to get niggas to listen to his song. I feel, you know, like I feel like it's a lot of that. It's really just mad. Oh, we got to make skits. We got to make short form content. We got to do all of these things. And like some of this shit be fire, but it's like I would really love to just like be able to just make music. Like I'm really tired of having to do content. Niggas absorb that shit at a fast rate, so it's like you got to keep pumping that shit out. Whereas like some people's artistry is more like nuanced, I guess. Or okay, I have the perfect example, and I was telling somebody this recently.
Right.
They was talking about like the Drake and Kendrick thing, where it's like, oh, like Drake feeds his fan base all the time. Kendrick makes you wait like 5 years, right? But so the analogy I had was, you can eat macaroni and cheese whenever you want. You can eat collard greens, you can eat candy yams, you can eat all that shit whenever you want, right? Every year you remember Thanksgiving. So it's like having whack mac and cheese on a regular Tuesday is like, you're gonna forget that shit in a couple weeks. It's like, cause your life is going on. Like that was just a thing you ate to not die. You wanted or whatever. Cool.
Right.
But Thanksgiving is like, oh yeah, that shit is one day of the year. The anticipation for that shit as the time draws come, you know that shit's coming up. The the uniqueness around that, even though you eating shit you eat all the time, but it has like a different standard.
Nah, definitely.
And there's artists that's like, their content is more of a Thanksgiving thing. And there's artists whose shit is just a regular, you got to eat every day thing, like here type shit.
Right.
And it'd be whack because now the shit you doing over here, you got to mass produce that shit, trying to get it out more to play the game and like be in front of all of these faces and things like that. So
yeah. No, I definitely agree, man. With every point that you brought up, I feel like just the generation that we're in right now, as opposed to, not even as opposed, but it's just like the freedom you get with having all the control, I guess you can say, in terms in regards to your creative process, how you're putting out your music, the rollouts for that, if you got videos, promotional, whatever. That freedom also comes with the expectation of massive amount of content being generated, whether it's related to your music or not, whether it's you just telling jokes or you just doing funny stuff, you wind up falling into having to do that to be, like you said, like productive, or to make your name or make yourself, your product, whatever you're trying to sell, stand out. It's like, you gotta come with it. It's a never ending feed of it, and it's multiple different platforms you gotta feed. You gotta feed YouTube. You gotta feed Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever they wanna call that shit. And all these other platforms that are out there that you have to feed and feed and feed with just seeing you doing stuff. Where it's like, there's a health benefit that you can even say, like, health wise, a lot of people are burning themselves out doing that shit. But it's just like, that's the standard of
that's
today.
The benefit?
No, not one of the benefits. I'm sorry. That's like one of the drawbacks. That's one of the drawbacks, is that people are burning themselves out doing that. One of the benefits, I would say, is that people are becoming more aware. that, this lifestyle, having to produce all of this content is affecting me mentally, sometimes even physically, and being more consciously aware of like their scheduling and stuff. But overall, yeah, man, this is just the generation that we're in. We're in a generation right now where people want to see you all the time, nonstop. You feel me? And it's not even for a long time. It's not like people are sitting with the product and digesting it for weeks. It's like, all right, cool. I had this for 30 minutes. What's the next thing? You know, and it's just it's a never ending cycle.
And if you get a song to break through with all of this like mass content and stuff, the creation process of these songs be so microwave that the song blows up and in like 1 week, nobody even cares no more.
Yeah.
And like years from now, nobody's gonna go back to the song and truly remember it and reminisce and have it attached to a core memory. It's just gonna be like, oh, this is yo, remember this thing that happened that one time?
Nah, I like that point you just brought up. Yeah, longevity. Like
Right.
I feel like a lot of songs don't have that anymore unless it's tied to something, some sort of pop culture, unless it like transcends music.
Right.
Whereas like now you got people doing TikTok dances or doing Instagram posts or reenacting or taking a snippet of whatever your song was and maybe doing short-term video content, short-form video content to it or whatever. It's just like, oh, that's where we are right now. I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely got the game by the balls right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is sad. And it's also you're seeing the drawbacks of the ease of access to things where you might want to have things set up where before I feel like there might have been like a little bit of gatekeeping based on your financial status where it's like, oh, you can't afford the $2,000 like equipment that you need to record, where now it's like, oh, I just need a laptop. So if I manage to get a laptop, I could be able to do some shit. Or I could do this on my phone. I don't need to have a red camera and all this other shit.
Right.
But at the same time, because of that ease of access, you got people that's just getting up, doing shit where it's like, this might not even be their passion. This might not even be something they actually care about long term. It's not even something that they see the value in. It's just like, oh, I got the ability to do it. I'm about to just do it.
Yeah.
And potentially, oh yeah, you could be the person to break through and blow up. And then it's like, oh, okay. But then that's discouraging to people who kind of put more effort and energy. And it's not even to be, comparing lives or like hating on somebody else's journey. But it's like, oh, I done studied, I done learned how to play these instruments, that I'm in here refining my craft. And it's just a motherfucker that was just drunk with his mans. Just like, oh, Shaboopy on the roof.
Yep.
And now everybody yelling Shaboopy on the roof for 4 months. Like, that shit is nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know the solution. Especially in terms of music and the artistic journey, because it's like, there are people who do take it seriously. That's just, they like to be in the content game. They like to do shit. But I don't know. I feel like we got to establish certain things, kind of like artists. I feel like we got to start establishing shit same way a driver has to get their CDL license. It's like, you can like trucks, but we got to figure out the qualifications that you have in order to be a trucker at the very minimum. Not even the best trucker, not even the fastest unloader, reloader, whatever. It's like, but the bare qualifications that we have, there's a set standard of qualifications for you to be a participant in this industry. And I think there has to be something of that from a talent, creative, and like passion level. I don't know if we got to start hooking niggas up to lie detector tests and seeing like,
bro, that may be.
Because even if you're, like, because there's artists who's like, nah, I'm getting this because I'm trying to feed my family and shit. But it's like, all right, cool. Like, oh, we need to test niggas' basic understanding this shit, like their basic like principalities and your desire to try to make money. Are you ready to just dilute and basically destroy a whole industry and infrastructure and put everybody else in a fucked up position so you can make money? Like, we have to have some kind of like qualifying exam for that shit.
No, definitely. And that's I guess that would be one of my number one complaints just about like hip hop and hip hop culture. How like it's the ease of access, how it's taking on a life of its own, and everybody has the right, to hip hop. Everybody has like, that their bond, their own personal bond, whatever that may be. But there's like, we know who created hip hop. We know where it started. Like, we know what the people were, what they look like, etc. So I always felt like, damn, there should have always been like some sort of like, like not to say like niggas got to check in, but there should be some sort of like respect kind of there for like this group of people who created this culture, and it exploded all over the world.
See, that's the thing too. There used to be, even with hip hop crews beefing and like doing all of that shit. Everything they doing in content creation is still a part of hip hop in terms of like dance and things like that.
Nah, definitely.
What fucked it up is the commercialization, where now it's, oh, we can profit off this thing, or we could give niggas large sums of money. So now niggas is looking at this as a thing to make money. Before it was just a thing that I loved and I do. Right. So now if you're loving something and you're willing to do it for free, you getting paid to do that shit, that's just a sign of your dedication to your craft and things like that.
It's a bonus.
But you also, in that, you got a certain respect for it, because you're not doing this for the money. But you being able to make money for it is the bonus. And it's like, all right, cool. Now when you got it, now when people who are giving you money realize how much money they could be making off of people doing this, now it's like, okay, cool. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Oh, more money's flooding in. But now they're figuring out ways to make so much money that the money you're getting is still considered pennies based on
what we've established.
The contrast. But now you got niggas just doing so much like for the money, and part of the commercialization and everybody just glorifying all of these material things you can get. It's not about, oh, I loved hip hop growing up and I had these experiences and oh, we used to do this and the third, and then somebody came along and was like, yo, like I actually paid to do this. Now it's just like, oh, I want to do that because I seen niggas getting money from doing that.
Definitely.
I want to play sports because I seen niggas getting money from doing that.
We're in a get the bag culture right now. Like, I don't know if it'll ever change, but even when people talk about business, I hate when people are like, oh, it's just business. Don't take it personal, da, 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 da. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. Yes, you shouldn't have emotional responses when you're doing business. But in a sense, if I put my entire life's work, my sweat, blood, and tears into this business, my family eats from this business, we survive off of this, how could I not take this personal if niggas wind up doing grimy or underhanded business practices? Like, oh, this is everything that matters to me right here. I done crafted this shit with my two hands, got callous on this shit for years. Oh, for this. And niggas is doing dirt, and niggas want me not to take it personal. So I always hated that just notion, that idea of, oh yeah, we're just gonna do business no matter who may get hurt and shit. You know, what principles and morals we may lack. I was like, oh, we gonna get this bag. We're gonna do whatever we have to do to get this bag, whether we have our personal ethics in question or not. We gonna get this money, like, and that just it's just like.
And damn. Now we basically got everything set up in a little farming system where once something works for somebody, everybody assumes it's gonna work for them. So now it's, oh, everybody, we need all of y'all making shit tons of content. We need all of y'all making shit tons of content that's bringing people to our apps. But we're not necessarily paying y'all to bring niggas to our apps. We're not necessarily gonna pay y'all the value for like the retention that you got, especially if you black. You're not gonna get paid appropriately. But now it's like, yo, yeah, do 40 million TikToks to promote this song, right? But then we can also shadow ban your shit on the back end so everybody can't see it. But now if you break through, that's lit for the app because more people come into the app, more people using your sound. Oh, that's generating ad revenue for us because now we can sell more ad space to niggas on that side. And now labels is like, oh, a lot of people seem to be looking at this thing. Now we want to like engage with you because now we don't necessarily got to do the work. But also in that, this is just some microwave shit where it's like, yeah, we about to use this shit to just make money right now.
Yeah, right now.
Oh, yeah, you got a nice song? Cool. Like, here's some money. We're going to run this shit up. You're going to give us the rights to this song, this and the third. We're going to run it up. And you're going to be out of here.
Once it fizzles out, we don't hear from you again, or you might just disappear. Hopefully you don't.
And if it don't fizzle out, oh, that's great. But we was really just planning this super duper one and done on for you. But, oh, if you manage to come with another thing, that's so great for us. But
facts. Now multiply that by the thousands, hundreds of thousands. Like, yeah, man. So yes, overall, yeah, we are in a culture where unfortunately that, pushing out content has become a major component of, doing music. It's like, oh, you have to be seen. And one of the best ways to be seen right now is through these social media platforms. And, on the plus side, people are making money. Now you don't have to be like selling out arenas and shit to be making a living. You can quit your day job off of YouTube based off of, what you're doing, da da da. So there is it's like a checks and balance to the culture.
Another downside to it though is you can be an amazing singer, right? But because you have to create content, now you're doing things that's just
Yeah.
you're not good at. Everybody doesn't need a podcast. Everybody doesn't need to do mukbangs. Everybody doesn't need comedy skits. Everybody's not funny. Everybody's not engaging and knows how to speak. Nobody knows how to like convey messages. It's like it's not for everybody. And knowing, and a lot of people is like, yeah, you don't know that certain things ain't for you, but you want this thing so bad that you're doing all of this other shit, and now you're just jumping into other overly saturated markets, trying to get attention in an overly saturated market by getting into another overly saturated market and doing that all over the place. And it's kind of hypocritical because you're watching our podcast as two musicians, but it's like...
But this is... right. It affects everybody.
So,
it affects everybody. So
it's bullshit. Break the wheel, y'all.
Yeah.
Break the goddamn wheel.
There it is.